Hello, beautiful soul. So today I want to continue with the Chiron series. And this video is going to be about Chiron in Scorpio. Scorpio, I am Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon. So of course, I have a lot to say about this, but I'm going to I promise to try to keep it as brief as I can, but still giving you everything that I think is important for you to know in order for you to pick and choose what see what resonates and what you need to work on. So let's see where we go with this. I'm going to make sure that I have my bullet points because otherwise I'm going to lose my train of thought. So the first thing that I want to start with is Chiron in Scorpio, the wounds of, my goodness, so many wounds in here of death, lost, death, control, betrayal, jealousy, like so many wounds. So let's keep in mind what is the Chiron, the wounded healer. The wounded healer, the archetype of the wounded healer, for those that haven't seen the introduction video, I recommend that you do that so that you can get a better idea of what is the wounded healer. Why is this important for us to understand? Why does it have layers and layers of this? Because it's not only from this life, but past lives too. And this is something that I'm not the one saying it. This is something that every astrologer out there knows about, right? So when you consider the wounded healer and where he's sitting, if he's sitting in Scorpio within your 8th house, Scorpio rules the 8th house. So whatever it is in Scorpio, is going to have all of these wounds. And then obviously if it's in your 8th house, going to be amplified. So if you think of the mythology of Chiron, the wounded healer, the centaur that was a healer, but when he suffered an injury, he couldn't heal himself. And he goes through the process of realizing that he's not going to be able to do it, giving up his immortality to help somebody else, and then being sent to the heavens as a consolation for everything that he did and everything that he suffered. So a lot of pain and suffering, deep emotional wounds here that you need to be aware of, because this is basically the programming that you come with. Like the zodiac, the signs, the things that we experience, the wounds, these are all things, the challenges that we have experienced in childhood, but most of the time in childhood, those wounds just get reactivated so that we know that is something important that we need to work through. And most of the time it comes from many different lifetimes. So let's jump right in. So what you think, when you think of Scorpio, you're going to think about people that are, I think everybody knows about Scorpio because they're so intense, right? Like there is so much intensity and a lot of mysterious energy and a lot of energy of transformation and death, rebirth. And I mean, it's just like probably one of the most mysterious signs that we have in the zodiac. So I think we all know about Scorpio, right? They can be very highly sensitive to the point where you can be a little freaked out by being around them, because they have an ability to read your mind and understand what you're dealing with in a way that can be seen like sneaky even, or like sometimes it feels like they're waiting to attack, and they might do it. Sometimes they have no idea that you're dealing with something, and they might say something and you're thinking they're saying it because of you. So a lot of amplified energy with the Scorpio energy is coming through. So when we think about what Scorpio represent, that energy of, they can, Scorpio are the streams of the streams. You will not see two Scorpios that are very alike, even though they have average similarities. You're going to see a lot of different levels, because remember that Scorpio is the only sign, I believe is the only sign that has 7 different facets of what it means to be a Scorpio in the evolution process. So when you think about that, and perhaps we need to spend a little bit of time talking about that, because I think a lot of people forget that there are many layers to what it means to be a Scorpio. And when you think about the wounded healer, this is something that you definitely want to know, just because you have to know at what phase are you in and how to navigate through in order for you to get to the next phase. So consider Scorpios as the shapeshifter, like the major archetype of the shapeshifter. Like these people, not only they're very psychic, very intuitive, they're channelers, they're reading your mind, they can read your auric field. It reminds me of that energy of Shiva, Ganesh, reminds me of Durga, like all of these energies that are very chaotic, but everything is making sense at a deep level for them, even when they don't know that it's making sense. And I think this is important for us to understand, because what looks like chaos for a lot of people, for Scorpios, is going to look like it's being very methodologically organized, to the point where they know what they don't know, but it may feel like they don't know, but they know, but they don't know. So it's very convoluted energy here, with just knowing things that makes no sense at the moment, but they know, and it's hard for them to let go of that, because they know they're pulling so much information from the unknown, a lot of energy of the mother, the feminine energy here. This is a negative sign. And when it's negative, it's that energy of intuition, of feminine energy within the zodiac. Very receptive, very perceptive. And I mean, it's just beyond belief what these people can do. They have such an inner strength. Remember that this sign, Scorpio, is ruled by Mars and Pluto. So that they have that aggressive energy when they are in the lower evolution process, but when they go through transformation, they become the energy of Pluto, which is the modern ruler for the soul for Scorpio. But remember that we're talking about the qualities here, whether it is, some people say that Pluto is not a planet or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the characteristics that it represents. So let's keep that in mind. So when you think of Scorpios, you're also going to be thinking about that gut feeling. So these people have a lot of power in their solar plexus naturally from birth. And the problem is that if they are born in a family that is dysfunctional, they are going to have a lot of issues, and they're going to tend to be at the lower evolution of what it means to be a Scorpio. So the 7 phases, and let me see if I can remember all of them. We have the spider, we have the Scorpio. So, and then let me just give you a quick recap of what it means, because I think it's important for us to understand what does it mean, right? So when we think about the spider is the one that is, like the lowest of the evolution, because these people tend to be very just mean, like they just mean and no in control of their emotions. They're just very self-centered people. Then we have the Scorpio. The Scorpio are the second of the evolution. A lot of people tend to overcome or never experience these lower vibrations of what it means to be a Scorpio, because they may have worked on that and came into a functional family, or whatever happened to them, they were quickly able to overcome the lower vibrations of what it means to be a Scorpio. But there might be qualities in and out throughout life where you are experiencing any of these things, even within matters of months, especially if you're going through your healing process. So when you think about this, just keep that in mind. Like the spider, very self-centered, just mean the spider, the Scorpio is going through a process of being immature, like those kids that are just bitchy, like they're very immature and they're very short tempered. They just screaming for no reason sometimes because they're jealous of the siblings or something like that. Think about those people. Even if you are an older Scorpio and you're still doing this, that means that you're still at the very lower vibrational points of what it means to be a Scorpio, and you really need to work on yourself. Then we have the Lizard. The Lizard is more patient, more strategic. So the more that you ascend, the more you're going to embrace some of the negative and the positive qualities, but in a more strategic way, in a more controlling and manipulative way that sometimes you're not even aware of until you start your healing process. So the lizard is going to be that energy that is almost like the snake, but with some type of humility, because it doesn't know yet how strong it can be or how mean and poisonous it can be. So when you get to the snake, which is the next one, you're going to be way more strategic, way more dangerous. People are going to be afraid of you. You are going to perhaps even like that. And you're just embracing that energy of truly being the serpent, being that energy that you can wait years to come back to a specific situation because you're waiting for the perfect moment and you're just analyzing things in a way that is a little freaky. The next one that I use to represent the evolution from the snake is the wolf, because it has that energy of very protected, like family oriented. It's just going through a process of only attack if you're being threatened, but it's more into the family, more wiser, is not attacking for no reason. So there is a level of maturity here. You can be left alone, you will be fine, but if you are picked on, the wolf is going to come out and eat you, right? So after the wolf, we have the eagle. The eagle represents that energy of the more mature, higher vibration Scorpio, where it's becoming more of a spiritual being that is trusting the universe to do what it needs to do, and is not taking revenge on its own hand. It's just even seeing how they're going to pay the karma or the people, but we're just waiting patiently. They don't have to take things on their own hands anymore, because they have become more in tune with the laws of the universe, love, karma, understanding the spirit realm. They just advancing really quickly. And then after the ego, we have the Phoenix rising, and that's the ultimate, the most mature energy of the Scorpio. So when you think about the Scorpio as a Phoenix rising, you're going to see people that are very content with life. They're no longer letting little things bother them. They're going through a process where life is completely different, and they cannot even recognize themselves compared to years before because of who they were, and they were shifting one moment after another moment. So it's a beautiful transformation process that happened with the Scorpio that normally doesn't really happen with a lot of other signs. And it's because of the transformation qualities that Scorpios have. If you have the one, the healer in Scorpio, you are going to again have a lot of deep wounds with emotions and feelings out of control, jealousy, betrayal, trusting, letting love in, because you might not be able to trust. You're thinking you might be betrayed, a lot of jealousy and revenge, and very powerful connection to the spirit realm, death and loss, and feeling like if you lose someone, or perhaps you did lose someone at an early age, that really left a big wound in your heart. So you have some wounds, challenges to overcome, a lot of fears with death. Perhaps even what I experienced when I was a child, when I talk about the gift that I had about seeing people dying before they die, and how traumatic and depressive that was. So you might be running away from your spiritual gift because of something similar, where maybe spirits were attacking you, or you were tapping into other past lives and seeing other people that you love die. And who knows, it could be so many different things. The thing with feeling of the wounds of loss also come because of the perception of how we see life, our filter of consciousness, and just really thinking everything is done because I deserve it, I'm a bad person, or why is this happening to me? I'm a victim. This is not supposed to be happening to me. So once you start evolving and maturing, you realize this is all happening for me to advance, for me to do this, for me to heal, whatever it may be. So you get out of the victim mentality. So yeah, you just get out of the victim mentality. And if you remember the myth about Gaia sending the giant Scorpio, and something is happening with the giant Orion, and he was a hunter, and Gaia wanted to send the Scorpio to hunt him down. And anyway, so, and I'm not going to get into the mythology because we have so much to discuss here, and I really want to make sure that we are that is it's not a 3 hours videos, so I'm going to try to keep it short. So when you think about some of that mythology and all of the different evolutions of the sign, and this is very complex. You can spend a lot of time learning about what it means to be a Scorpio. But instead, I want to spend some more time talking about the different pains individually, because with this sign, it's crucial for us to understand that, to go line by line with this, because when you start tapping into the pain of, for example, death and loss, these people that are Scorpio tend to have a lot of dark aspects to them, very mystical, mysticism, sorcery work, occult knowledge. These type of things are going to move the soul of the Scorpios, and it's going to move it because they basically come from that, to experience what it means to decipher what does it mean to go into the spirit realm and die. And this is the biggest secret of the universe. What does it mean when we die? What happens when we die? What do we do when we die? And although there is a lot of information coming out now with the internet and all of that, at the deep level of the Scorpio soul, it's going to be that question: is this possible? Can I decipher this? Can I understand this? And what does it mean for me? So there is a lot of pain of the unknown. Perhaps you had a lot of life in between life when you were in the realm of spirit just to understand what it means. So when you come into this reality, you have to go back to remembering those things. And therefore, there is always a deep connection there. The problem is that it can be obsessive. It can become an obsession, and you can actually lose it. So when you have a lot of Scorpio characteristics or placements within your chart, you really do have to be careful not to lose yourself in the mysticism and occult practices and things like that, because you can really go into a deep dive where you can actually lose part of your what is real. So yeah, and that comes from that wound of what is death and loss. And if I lose someone, can I trust the universe to let me be happy again, because I lost someone dear to me, and I don't want to relieve that pain of losing that person in this reality. So it's very complex. These people are very, they just have a way about them that they're understanding and tapping into things that maybe other people are not able to, because of the training that they have in between lives that allows them to understand their spirit realm in a way that a lot of other people might need a lot of years to learn, where they can actually, the Scorpio can actually tap into very quickly. Another one is that they can be very overprotective. Again, this is the energy of becoming that wolf, that energy of protecting the family, energy of ensuring that your family is okay. And again, it goes back to loss. If I lose my family, then I shut down, and I don't want to do that because life is going to be painful. So you might be experiencing a lot of, because you're so much tapped into the unknown, into the spirit realm, you might be picking up a lot of vibration from those that are deceased. So you might go through a lot of mood swings. You might be even picking up things before you even go through your spiritual awakening from people that you have no idea why you're picking it up, like empath, right? But for you, Scorpio, you're picking up a lot of dark thoughts that these people have. And you're like, what the heck is going on? Is this somebody else? You're just reading through everybody's intention about you and your family and those that you love. So you're very quick to react to that. And sometimes you react before they act. And then it looks like you're crazy because you're acting before they actually do what they were thinking about. and they think you have no reason to be crazy and acting the way you are, because they don't realize that you already knew what they were thinking about. So it's a catch-22 here. It's like, to win, the best way is to evolve within your sign, because otherwise you can stay in the low vibration feelings and just thinking everybody just have the bad thoughts about you and your family and loved ones. So a lot of distorted Mars energy here, even with the transformation with Pluto here, a lot of insecurities and doubts and trust issues are going to come up like left and right. When you think about doubts and fears in spiritual awakening, think about Scorpio. Like, if you really have doubts and fears, you probably have a lot of Scorpio energy in your natal chart, because these people are like the archetype of what it means to have spiritual doubts and fears, to the point where they might know, they trust in the unknown, they know there is something there, they know it's real, but there is a part of them that wants to doubt it because it's too much for them to believe that that is possible, because of everything they can tap into and understand that is not able to be expressed in words for other people to understand. So they feel very lonely. It just feels sometimes like nobody's ever going to understand you. Yeah. So in regards to the wounds of feeling insecurities, not just doubts and fear about spiritual things, but also about people here, like people that you see with other people that you know that they're not they don't have the best intentions for them. And it might even look like you're being jealous, but you just know something is off. But yeah, a lot of Scorpios do have a lot of issues with jealousy, betrayal, control, and so on. So it's not an excuse. I'm not going to pretend that I'm giving you an excuse here, but I just want you to consider that sometimes it's because you can see beyond the people's intention, and it's almost like you can zoom in and out, and that gives you greater vision to understand how this is really turning, like what is the outcome. So it gives you, but sometimes it can be coming from your ego, and then that's when you lose yourself and you don't know if it's really going to happen or if it's just you projecting onto the situation what's going to happen. So you really have to cleanse yourself. You really have to go through healing in order for you to really tap into your psychic abilities and like just clairvoyancy, all the clairs. You have all the clairs, but you do have to go through healing in order for you to see here and like really understand and sense what needs to be sensed, and like really know, really know without doubts. And that only happens when you go through your healing process. So be one for those that are here with Scorpio. The one, the healer in Scorpio, is that they're going to have issues in their love life, if they haven't healed or if they're still going through their healing process, because they have, in a past life, you probably had a lot of betrayal done to you, like a lot of betrayal. And that is something so deep within you that you're going to have issues trusting people to really allow them into your heart. You only have a really close friends that are very few, very short amount, like minimal amount of people that are in your life that you really trust. So letting a love partner come into your life to be naked with, to be really emotionally naked, physically naked with, can be very convoluted for you and complex, because you don't, what happens if I trust this person and then they leave me, or if they don't think whatever of me and it's not in alignment with what I think of myself, and all of those issues are going to come because of past life shit that has happened and current life traumas that need healing. So definitely a big one to consider there. What else? I think for those that have Scorpio, let's just talk about the supernatural abilities, because I think most of us know Scorpio, like Scorpio energy, amazing in my own opinion. So I think one of the biggest programming that we have here, and I know I didn't really go into the mythology because I wanted to keep this video short, but one of the programming that we definitely have here is the betrayal energy. Reminds me of Seth and Osiris. Like, think about any goddesses, any stories, any mythology about betrayal, and see how it relates to your life. It's that easy. Seth and Osiris, Seth betraying Osiris and, doing what he did. And that energy of like someone that you deeply, deeply, deeply trusted betraying you for what you thought it was not a good reason or not enough of a reason for you to be betrayed the way that you were betrayed, whether it is in this life or any other. So when you think about the healing abilities that Scorpios have, they have healing abilities with their hands. Their power chakra is probably going to be the solar plexus chakra, where a lot of deep emotions and feelings are coming through, and the ability to heal those energy centers is key. But they also have a lot of mental magic because they're always here thinking and strategizing. So healing hopelessness is going to be key for these people with Chiron in Scorpio, the one, the healer in Scorpio, because they deep down, they have a sense of hopelessness that they need to heal through. I know soul alignment is something that a lot of us can do, but for Scorpio, this is definitely something that is going to be at a next level where you will be helping someone by exchanging energy and doing spiritual work on them and aligning the soul for many, many different experiences, not just this life. Very deep wisdom, knowledge, healing ability of helping people with financial and power related issues. Like, there is a lot of power, intensity, and that translate in this reality to financial and money issues, money concepts, maybe even the stock market, crypto market, whatever it is. You have a way to see things and predict things that for somebody else will be like, why? Well, how did they come to that conclusion? And then you're like, I see all of those things and I see right there. So that's what I'm going for. So you have a way to predict things that is, the method that you use is unconventional, because a lot of other people are going to have to be doing a lot of calculations, and you like right there and you know what you're going for. So you might be helping people to really tap into that assertive, predictive, powerful energy to be able to manifest what they need, what they want, with money, power, success, and so on. These people also are very psychic, very intuitive. They're prophets. They are channelers. They will be able to channel information and say things that sometimes you have no idea, like how the depth of those things that they're saying. You will really have to work hard to understand the depth, because sometimes they don't even understand how deep they are. So, and because of that, because they can tap into things that you have no idea of. They are so good at reading your auric field and your mind. So sometimes when they're quiet, they're just reading you and reading everything that you're not saying, and it is on point. So with Scorpio, the thing is that they have to quiet their mind and their doubts to get to that point where they can read your mind, just like if they're inside of your mind. So it's that accurate. So when you think about Scorpios, the key is to quiet yourself so that you can tap into somebody else's mind. And because of this, they make really good shamans, therapists, healer practitioners of many different modalities, right? It doesn't matter. Pick your modality. You're going to be fine, because you have something that other people, they just don't have. You have the ability to understand what the other person is not saying, that they want to say, but they cannot get themselves to say it. So you almost like can take it out of them, know it, or take it slowly so that they can say it themselves, but you already know the information. So you really are a master mind with this. Another thing that I think a lot of people don't consider is that these people, the reason why they're so good with curandero, as a curandero, curandera, shaman, medicine man, medicine woman, however you want to call it, healer, light worker, whatever you want to call it, is that they are able to connect with the spirit realm, with disembodied energies of many different, not just ghosts, human ghosts, human like earthbound, or spirits that have transitioned and are in their evolution process, or what you call ghosts or demonic entities or fairies or whatever it is. They have the ability to do that, and because of that, they can also use their power animals to do work on your behalf, on your client's behalf, that many other people won't be able to do, and you can do that really quickly with some training, like really fast. What else? Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here for now. I hope you got something out of this. Working through your wounds, working through, a lot of your wounds are going to come from, yes, childhood, but a lot of them are going to come from past lives, because they are layers and layers and layers of what it means to learn about the spirit realm, what it means to learn about loss and betrayal, like deep betrayal. Like, you probably experienced betrayal here, nothing like what you have experienced in past life, that when combined, it's like you can heal one, but if you don't heal the other, you still feel that betrayal. So you definitely have to work through that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.